Let's go.
Yes, sir. Okay, here we go. I'm waiting notification. And beautiful. And a lot of your videos are on Facebook and on YouTube where people are showing the training. So that helps as well. Okay, beautiful. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast. We are very humbled and honored today to have a great guest with us, one who has made it to the top of his field, and he's going to give us some information as well as some inspiration. And that is none other than Sijo Mutakabbir. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum assalam.
This is
Blessing and honor to be here.
yes, sir. This
Alhamdulillah.
is praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. The honor is ours. Well, the first question we want to know, Sijo, is when did you know that you wanted to get into the martial science?
Well, the first time I knew I was wanting to get into martial arts, or the martial science, I should say, like I told you
Yes,
previous
sir.
to the correction of the martial arts and martial science, what I'll later on break down, is I was about at the age of about 10 years old. I come
Mhm.
from a family that of fighters. My father was a professional boxer. My uncle was a professional boxer, and all my brothers. I have 7 brothers, and they all were fighters. And I have one sister, and she's the one that really got me involved in the martial arts. And so I was about 11 years old when I first, took a hold to the spirit of the martial arts, or I should say, the spirit of Bushido, the
Mm.
way of the warrior.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
That's
Excellent.
it.
And how did your family and friends respond to you once you really started getting into it and decided that you wanted to become a teacher in it?
Well, it started in Harlem, 267 West 118th Street, apartment 3E, where I was came up at it. And that was a time when you had to fight as a youth at least no less than 2 to 3 times a day just to get home from school or go outside. You had to prove your manhood. So always basically, like I said, was always a fighter. So all my life always was fighting. But what happened was when I got into the martial arts taught me the beautiful part of the combativeness, which was the discipline. Because I was like any other youth coming out of Harlem and so forth, I didn't really have the discipline. My whole thing was basically just going to the street, having fun, and you don't like what I say, I don't like what you say. You say throw up your hands and punch in your mouth, and you punch me in my nose, and that's how we got down. But when I began to understand the importance of the combativeness of our nature through the martial arts, through the spirit, like I said before, Bushido, then I began to like kind of harness that energy and begin to channel it into a more productive, positive direction. But before going through all of that, I basically taught myself for the first 3 years in the martial arts because my mother and father couldn't afford put me into school because at that time it was too expensive for them because we came from a trying family. And so what I did, I taught my own self. I
Mm,
went
mm.
down 42nd Street and liberated 2 books. That's a nice way of saying taking it, without paying for it. So
Yes, sir.
I liberated these 2 books and got me a big plate glass, a mirror, and look at the illustrations and started mimicking the illustrations. And I was always a fighter. So I started going out challenging real martial artists and basically I was beating them. So I put my own self up, got my own self rank. I said, well, I
Mm,
think I'm equal to a green belt. But what happened was eventually I started basically beating up on my own friends. So they started getting people in the different martial art world to come challenge me.
mm,
And so
mm,
eventually I started beating them too. And then they introduced me to this particular individual at that particular time. His name was Monroe Morrow, but
mm,
today his name is Abdul Musawir. He was my
mm.
first teacher, and I still recognize him as the one who gave birth to me as a martial artist. And he is still will always be recognized to me as my first teacher, Abdul Musawir. And
Beautiful.
he came to me and he taught me the importance of being humble by just his expression of illustration of how to kick, how to do forms, and the attitude of a real warrior. So I was so humbled by watching him that eventually, I began to change my way altogether. I stopped indulging in the negativity. I stopped getting involved in the foolishness, which is, the way of Jahiliyyah, the ignorant way of life. And I began to start taking the martial arts much more serious, and that's basically started my real sincere quest in the martial world.
Praise be to Allah. Excellent. And thank you all. Thank you for your testimony. And thank everyone for watching. My sisters Miriam and Naima both say assalamu alaikum, sir. My 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 next question for you is what style did you start off doing, and how did that evolve into what is known as Swam today?
Well, I started out in karate. You know, people say karate, but when you really got into martial arts, you was really serious in it. You didn't pronounce it as karate. You pronounce it as karate. You know, just like, you know, when you get in Islam, when you understand the Arabiya, you begin to explain that more in its original authenticity, its original text.
Yes,
So
sir.
when I got into karate, you know, I had, because that was really what was taught the most during the time I came up. Kung Fu was more mystical. You didn't really get the opportunity to train Kung Fu a lot because the Chinese was very, you know, ostracized in their arts. They didn't really allow you to be able to teach, to be taught with those particular arts. So what was the dominant factor in the New York area was two profound arts at that time. And that was karate of the Shotokan art from the Japanese, from the Koshi, and then also there was the Goju art that we came up with Yamaguchi. Those were the two arts that was taught a lot in the New York area. So I got it deep into the karate art from training under Abdul Musawir. I don't know if we went. I think I lost you. I don't know. Oh, I got you to it.
Okay, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. You there?
Yes, I'm still there. So the karate is what I've got into to very strong, and I thank the creator that I got into karate because it helped me understand, you know, the importance of the act of meditation, because the Japanese believe one punch, one kill, just like the slice of the samurai sword, one slice, one kill. So it was more focused on just that one strike, you know, high block punch, low block punch, middle block punch, inside block punch. So
Yes,
that basic kind of like gave me the foundation, along with the fluidity of the boxing. It just basically opened my creative mentality to a whole nother level, you know. And then when people started talking about, you know, well, karate is better than kung fu is better than jujitsu is better than that. That kind of sparked my creativity of curiosity of saying, well, why is that? And let me find out why myself. So let me indulge in these other arts.
yes,
And
sir.
so that basically what brought about, you know, the hyper creation of the what we call today the swan.
Beautiful. And I was talking to my sister about my nephew who was growing up, and he's young and he wants to get into the martial science. And I was asking her, and I was telling her about you, and you were saying that you're very booked up, dealing with what you're doing. But can people, how can people find you on YouTube or Facebook, or how can people search you out who want to understand what SWAM is and what it represents?
Well, I mean, that's very easy. You know, I mean, like I give so much information willingly, and people ask me all the time, why do you give so much information, you know, in abundance? I mean, every week you give me so much information, all kind of techniques. You can be paid, you know, thousands of dollars for the information you got, whatever and so forth. And I simply say, well, all knowledge belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It doesn't belong to me. It belongs to Allah. Allah has given me this rostrum to speak as a martial art imam. I look at myself as a martial art imam.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I mean? Because what happened is that martial arts or the martial science is one part of our deen that we neglect.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Yes, sir.
Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he was a martial scientist.
Yes, sir.
You know what
Yes,
I
sir.
mean? He wasn't just an imam, he wasn't just an amir, but he studied all of the things. So this is something that we neglect, but something that we should partake in. All of us should be in some form of martial science. Because what martial science does, I don't like to say that, I said I don't like that in martial arts. What your martial science does, it helps you be duly proportioned, helps you be balanced on all levels, make you understand your holistic nature of your mind, body, and your spirit.
Yes, sir.
Because all three of these forms of your intelligence, they talk to you all the time. Your mind talks to you, your impulsive beast-like nature, that talks to you, and your spiritual nature talks to you. So you have to become acquainted with yourself. And what martial art does, it allows you to become almost like an introvert, where you got to go into yourself and you got to study the fires of your desires. You know what I'm saying? And bring them into the reality of your expression. And then martial arts or martial science is a good way of being able to do that. So, you know, that's what basically helped me to find my way into the deed.
Beautiful. Alhamdulillah. And thank everyone for continuing to like, share, and subscribe to the People's Podcast. My next question for you, sir, is dealing with celebrities. Have you ever had positive celebrity interactions? And if so, what can you share with us, like some of your favorite celebrity interactions?
I mean, I was basically realistically, I done bodyguard everybody that you can possibly think of. You know, I got a book I'm getting ready to put out. It's called "I Walk with Giants."
Mm.
And the first giants I walk with, of course, is my father and my brothers, because my brothers was 20 something years older than me. Allah be merciful on their soul. They're not here no more.
Yes, sir.
And my father was 40 something years older than me. So I never was afraid or feared being around older brothers because my brothers were older than me. So that always gave me the opportunity to sit down with mature men and excuse me, and to be able to drink from their cup. So I always basically was there to be able to wash in the elders' wisdom and drink from their cup. But then the Creator blessed me with some very powerful individuals outside my family that I had the opportunity to walk with, such as our great Imam Warith Deen, Muhammad, may Allah be merciful on his soul, who gave me my name, Abdul Mutakabbir, when I was a courier. I was one of the couriers, and I was the enforcer of the couriers, teaching the brothers how to be able to defend themselves with the papers. And also during the time of Captain Yusuf Shah, may Allah be merciful on him. So, and Imam Ali Rashid, they called me the warrior with the pen. Because Muhammad said we couldn't carry nothing but an ink pen. So I said, all right, well, I'm gonna master the ink pen. Show the brothers how to use the ink pen. You know what I mean? To do something with the ink pen and put it right back in your pocket where you don't even know. I think I got myself upside down. Let me see if I can turn
Yes,
this.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I don't know what happened with me. I'm upside down.
Yes, sir. You still upside down. You still upside down. You just.
Okay, let me have it. I'm trying to fix it. Okay, because I ain't too. Okay, I think I'm good now.
Yes, sir.
I ain't
Yes,
too.
sir.
I ain't like you young brothers, man. Y'all gotta get my son to be able to help me. You know what I mean? But the thing is that like everything that that we were instructed not to do, I wanted to be able to help us how to defend ourselves in something that we can do, and we can write with a pen. You can, like I taught the sisters, you got a hairbrush. My wife, is a outstanding martial artist, a martial scientist that's been studying for 40 something years since we've been married. She's right now at this moment as I'm talking, she's teaching 3 Muslim sisters right now. You see, so I mean, this is what we do. I'm gonna be frank with you. I'm not being braggadocious, but look, I'm gonna be frank with you. The Mutakabbir family is one of the best kept secrets in Atlanta, Georgia. New York found that out too late. When we was in New York, and the school is still in New York after 45 years, still there, Swamp still there, but New York found out about that too late. You see, they found out too late, and then we went to Atlanta. Now Atlanta's getting ready to find out in a minute too late, because you never know when Allah may want us to move someplace else.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then we're gonna be then our community gonna be afflicted with this disease called the shoulda, coulda, woulda blues. I coulda, woulda. You ever had another day to train with this particular brother? This knowledge that I got is not my knowledge. I keep telling people this is the knowledge from Allah. Allah just give me this information as a carrier pigeon to give this to our community first, and then to the world. If the community don't want it, and I've been trying to give it for years, says Imam Plymouth, Imam, what's your name? Abraham, I forgot the brother name. Allah forgive me. From Atlanta, Masjid. Imam Pasha, I think Abraham Pasha, I think this is his name. But even since back in the days of some Imam Ali Rashid, I've always been trying to get this information to our community. I've always been trying to train the youth. I got brothers that come and they don't see the importance of this. I was telling one day, I remember I told a brother how important it was to breathe. His brother looked at me, brother, you expect to make money on teaching people how to breathe? And I just looked at him. I said, brother, this brother was in a wheelchair. This brother was on a cane. This brother was hyperventilating. I said, brother, anybody, you need it the most. Maybe that's why Allah basically made me want to say this in front of you. I said, breathing is important. I said, do you realize most people in the world, at least 70 to 80% of the people in the world don't know how to breathe correctly? Do you know we just use 20% of our lung capacity because we don't take what you call deep abdominal breaths? And that has a lot basically speed up the length of your life. It can take your vitality, your
Yes,
breath.
sir.
People don't understand the importance of relaxation and calmness. Do you
Mm,
know relaxation belongs to the body and calmness belongs to the mind?
mm.
When
No,
you take
sir.
an inhalation breath, you relax, you calm. When you take an exhalation breath, you relax. Your body become relaxed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I can go on and on and on and drop certain scientists, but I'll let you keep asking the questions.
And thank you, sir. Well, I want to go back to you working with Imam Warith Deen. May Allah be pleased with him, sir. Is this after 1975 or is this like before 1975?
No, this is after 1975 when you took the reins of the dean and
Yes, sir.
basically and took our community to another to a higher level.
Okay, yes, sir.
Before that, I was basically working with Minister Louis Farrakhan and all of the great brothers of 116th Street. So
Mm,
so I always basically been helping our community. You know what I mean? And before that, I was working with before I was Muslim, I was working with the Black Liberation Army. You
okay,
know what
yes,
I'm
sir.
saying? So, because, before that I was, just working with the community. I've always been basically a community servant for our people. The only reason why I didn't go to Vietnam War because Muhammad Ali said he ain't going. I said, well, he ain't going, I ain't going. Lock me up too. And
Yes,
you know what
sir.
I'm saying? And so after that, I just went into the Black Liberation Army. And then from there, I didn't, when they say pick up your, do what you got to do, pick up your guns and go do this and that. I said, well, that ain't for me because that's too emotional. So then I started basically going to our community, and basically, and then, and sat down and listened to Minister Louis Farrakhan, and I liked what he was saying. I said, well, that's more my speed. I can deal with that,
Mm,
and I came into the nation, and from the nation, and then Dr. Bose's Power, may Allah be merciful on his soul. That's
okay.
one of my great teachers. You know, I went with him, and one day he had the bodyguard President Anwar Sadat
Mm,
and came up and my brother Louis, what was it? Not Louis Ali at the
mm,
time. I think Louis Ali and Khalid Ali now. It's called Khalid Ali, and I think it was Captain Yusuf Shah. I think it was one of them. It was either one of them.
mm,
They asked Dr. Powell. He said, "Well, who you taking with you to do the security?" He said, "I just need that brother right there."
mm.
He said, "You want to just take one man?" He said, "No, I got an army right there. Just me and him. We good." It was just me and him when and bodyguard President Anwar Sadat. You know
Beautiful.
what I mean? So alhamdulillah, that's just one story of a million.
Yes, sir. Alhamdulillah. And how was it working with President Anwar Sadat?
It was great, you know what I mean? Being able to be in the presence of a great warrior and so forth, you know what I mean? And just listen how he eloquently expressed himself, even though I didn't understand too much because he was speaking Arabia,
Yes,
but
sir.
that particular time. But just being, you don't have to listen to a man's word. You can just feel his vibes.
Mm,
You
mm,
learn that
mm.
from the art. You know what I mean? You start to develop what you call that esoteric sense,
Yes, sir.
and you
Yes,
can just
sir.
sense people. So I enjoyed the energy that was permeating off him that I was receiving, and it was good. It was overwhelming, and it was exciting.
Alhamdulillah. Excellent, sir. Thank you. And thank you all for continuing to like, share, and subscribe. Okay, beautiful. Well, the next question I want to ask you, well, I interviewed Yusuf Shah's son, and he was a great interview as well. What was it like being around Yusuf Shah? How was that?
Uh, Captain Yusuf Shah, you know what I mean? He was like what you call he was, man, let me get the right word I can give to that. He was the fire of men.
Mm, mm,
He was
mm,
the fire of men. He was a brother that he never came without his sword. His
mm,
sword was always sharp and always out. You know what I mean? In
mm.
his presence alone, if you had no desire, he gave you the fire, and you would have a desire to do whatever it was for this religion. You know, may Allah be merciful to him. But
Yes,
me
sir.
and him, we always kicked it off real strong because the fact that he already, truth recognized truth. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I can, he was dealing with a warrior when he seen me, just like I knew I was dealing with a warrior when I seen him. And I seen brothers buckle at their knees at great men like Yusuf Shah and brother Louis Ali and Imam Ali Rashid. I seen
Mm.
brothers buckle at their knees out of fear of these brothers because the type of energy that was permeated off them. These were like great warriors.
Yes,
But like
sir.
I said, to me, they were just ordinary men because my brothers were their ages. My brothers were great warriors.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So,
sir.
so they always looked at me differently. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, I'm probably one of the only brothers in the Nation of Islam that became a lieutenant, never wrote a paper. They didn't ask me for no paper. They just said, brother, you a warrior, you down with us? All right, come on in. That was it. You know, they knew my history because before I came as a Muslim, they used to call me Savage Jackson. They called me the Savage because because my whole thing was like, you know what I mean? Like, look, as a martial artist, you know, when we was taught with the strike, don't hit you in your chest, go through your back with a reverse punch.
Yes,
So
sir.
everything
Yes,
I was
sir.
taught in the martial art world was utterly destruction. So I was like a savage. You know, when I fought in the tournament world, you know, I mean, I was like, you know, it was like in the 60s when they fought in what you call the Sunnyside Gardens, we call that the arena of broken bones. They had 5 ambulams in the back. You had to fight almost like 15 to 20 times, you know, just to win, just to get into the finals. You know what I'm saying? So I was always used to basically like combat. So when I went into the Nation, I had to give all that up. But Ajman said, you couldn't do none of that.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Yes,
this
sir.
was in the prime of my life, like Muhammad Ali. You know, so I gave it up and I just started teaching the brothers. You know, so I had to turn that type of fire into a higher realm of a spark. You know, and then that's when my maturity came in, you know, where, you know, I began to understand my nature, you know, of humility and humbleness, you know, where I could basically arrest my ego and keep it under control.
Beautiful. Alhamdulillah. Yes, sir.
Alhamdulillah.
Excellent. I wanted to let everyone know, we have just a few more questions for you, Sijo, but I wanted to let everyone know that I had the honor of training under you one time when you were at the Shrine of the Black Madonna, and a brother named Oscar, he used to go with you, train with you on the weekends, and I went one time, and that was some of the best martial science training I ever had. Like literally, it was amazing. I learned so much from my interaction with you and the brothers that were there. That was phenomenal, sir. So I definitely pay homage to you, and we want to thank you on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience for your sacrifice and the sacrifice of your family, sir. Thank you for the great work that you did in the past, that you are doing now, and that you will continue to do, inshallah. Thank you, sir.
Alhamdulillah, bro. I appreciate all that, bro. Alhamdulillah.
Yes, sir. No
Allah
problem.
Akbar. Yes, sir.
Okay, I have a quick 60-second commercial break for all of the sponsors of the People's Podcast this this month. I want to thank everyone. If you all are watching on YouTube and you would like to share, if you would like to subscribe, please like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to be a sponsor or donor, please cash at the People's Podcast. I want to start with my brother Rashad. He has Street Premiere Media Production. He has a 4K camera, a drone. He does television and film editing. Please reach out to my brother Rashad, Street Premiere Media Production. My sister Miriam, ABC I Love Me, children's book and coloring book, both of which are on Amazon. Please go out and get those. My sister Naima, Stay On Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country. We love our tiny dancers. We're kind of right back to our great Sijo. MTS Car Bros, any make, any model, any year, 30 to 50% off. Our brothers out in LA will ship cars and trucks to you. Brother Kenneth, bow tie maker extraordinaire. He can ship bow ties to you anywhere in the country. Thank you very much, Brother Kenneth. Sister Latasha, Queen is I, Poetry and Apparel. Sister Latasha, Queen is I, Poetry and Apparel. Make sure we go out and get that. Sister Kanika Yakub out of Chicago, CBD Mom Corporation. She does CBD infused creams and oils. Thank you very much, Sister Kanika. My Letter A book by Sister Landra El Muhammad. Thank you very much. My Letter A book by Sister Landra El Muhammad. Doctor, right here in Atlanta, Georgia, Dr. King Henry's Turkey Legs. If you make sure you go out and get those, Brother Rashad out in Chicago, COVID-19 disinfectant cleaning services. My father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, AbdulSharif.com. And last but not least, my 2 books, Cleopatra, which is a children's book, and No Father, No Excuse, both of which are on Amazon. Right back to our brother, the great Sijo Mutakabbir. Sir, because you have been a warrior and used to be formerly known as a savage, came in, accepted the teachings, accepted yourself, and accepted Islam. But has there ever been a time that you were faced with fear? And if so, how did you overcome that fear?
Well, if I would say that I was never afraid of anything, I would be a liar. You know what I mean? And I would be inhuman.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, fear to me, is a checkpoint inside my nature to be able to allow me to think about the situation, assess the situation in milliseconds and so forth, just like a soldier. You know,
Yes,
a
sir.
soldier faces fear all the time.
Yes,
but
sir.
he has to be able to adapt and move in seconds. You see what I'm saying? You got to chew feel like bubble gum.
Yes, sir.
You see, you got to chew feel like bubble gum, and you got to basically allow it to digest in you so it become courage. Now, like we living in the day and time right now with what's going on in the world.
Yes,
This
sir.
is the time of the two F's. And I want to be frank, I want to be clear what I'm saying. This is the time of the two F's that we're living in right now.
Mm.
One F stands for fear, another F stands for faith.
Alhamdulillah.
You have to pick and choose what you're going to allow to neurologically, linguistically control you. Is it going to be your faith that's going to control you, or is it going to be your fear that's going to control you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Most of the world is being dominated by their fear. Every day they putting on, the media, the news, negative evil words. That's what I call it, acronym, negative evil words they putting out there, and you drinking this type of stuff over and over. And what's happening is that you're being consumed with this energy, this
Yes, sir.
dark energy.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
it's stressing everybody out. People right now, inside their mind, spirit, and their heart, they're dying.
Yes, sir.
You see? And this is a sad time. But this is also a time that's taught about scripture also, where it talks about the great and dreadful day of the Lord.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You see? It's great for those who are doing right, because their fear is only in the law. And it's
Yes, sir.
dreadful for those who are doing wrong. You see, because their faith is only into this demon, this beast we call the shaitan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it's fear. When I did the drug siege in South Jamaica, Queens, we had a 40. Allah blessed me to be instrumental. The command a 40-day drug siege, where I got all the imams, all the emirs at that time,
Yes, sir.
from Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, Manhattan, Philadelphia, Washington, and Jersey. I asked them, all of them, to come support me, to be able to shut down these drug dealers in South Jamaica, Queens.
Mm.
Those are the days of Fat Cat, Preem, and Corley, and those particular
Yes, sir.
individuals that
Yes,
was
sir.
running the community.
Yes, sir.
And basically what happened, I told the brothers, listen, we have to move as one. So if you're going to move with me, I welcome you. If you're going to move on your own coming out there, don't come. I say, because the Swan brothers, we ready to do this ourselves.
Mm.
With the fear of Allah and with the strength of Allah, we feel we are enough. You see? So I've always, it's like Hamza. May Allah be merciful on his soul.
Yes, sir. May Allah be
The
merciful.
Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, asked me, he said, Hamza, what do you see? He said, they see me, I see them. The outnumber us 10-1, so I think it's a fair fight.
Yes,
I
sir.
always believe in that. You see? So, I don't look at myself equal to an enemy that's standing for that which is evil. I look at myself superior to him.
Allah
You see? And if I don't take that type of spirit, take that type of energy, then I'm doing myself a disservice. But I don't just take that in spirit. I make sure I train to be prepared also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You see? So it ain't just like you just lip professing and you ain't training too. So you just can't talk the talk without doing no action with the walk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You see? So you got to be balanced on all levels, mind, body, and spirit. That's what the training is about.
Beautiful. Alhamdulillah. Thank you, sir.
Alhamdulillah. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And let's talk about, you spoke earlier of your beautiful wife. How instrumental has she been to you and your success as a man and your success as a Sijo?
Man, I mean, I don't even know how to start to be able to give her the eloquent, how you would say, I'm trying to find the words to even begin to show how grateful and the gratitude I have from Allah for blessing me with such a queen.
Yes, sir. Yes,
sir. Let me just say this here. I knew my queen before I met her. I'm talking about in the physical. I used to sing. I used to, when you're young. I mean, I'm older than you, so a lot of brothers maybe listen. They probably can relate to this. When you were older and so forth, you used to sit by the radio and sing doo-wop songs.
Okay.
Like I do love you, sitting in the park. Ooh baby, baby, stuff like that. And you see in your head, you have like an image of a certain queen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. That you bring it into abstract, into tangible reality.
Yes, sir.
And you know her. It's like you already know her. You know what I'm saying? And you meet that particular person in the flesh, it's like you see the spirit now come into the tangible reality. Well, that's how I met. I was like my queen. I met my queen, and she was a dancer. And I told her, I said, we were friends. And I told her, I said, listen, I said, I can teach you. I like to teach you a dance, but it's different than what you're dancing. I'm gonna teach you to call the dance of death. And she said, the dance of death. What is that? I said, the martial arts dance. And she was a warrior. My wife was a warrior from the beginning.
Beautiful.
So what happened was, we basically conversed with each other in conversations over and over and over. And then I got her into martial arts. She was the first female I ever taught in my life. And what happened was my wife didn't go to the regular training like the brothers did. That time, you had to train like 9 hours a day with me. If you wanted to train me, you can train no less than 9 hours a day.
Hey,
yes, you see? And you had to sit in the horse stance, whatever, and things like that. Matter of fact, look, take a quick break. This is my wife right here. She's teaching class right here.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
So when we met, I told her, if you want to train with me, then basically you have to go through a certain form of discipline to train me. And what that was, I had to, just like you see in them Kung Fu movies, you say, my wife had to sit in the horse stance for 6 months. She had to sit in the horse stance for 6 months, for hours, to watch us train from a horse stance, the men, the warriors. It wasn't that I was a bigot. I was basically disrespecting because she's a woman. But I just basically didn't really think that a woman could basically add up to the type of the ability or the discipline that was given to brothers.
Yes,
but
sir.
Lo and behold, she found out to become better than a lot of the brothers.
Yes, sir.
And up to 40-some years, now she's one of my top students, or top, what you call disciples. And we say disciples, we don't mean in a disrespectful way. We mean one who understand the level of mental, physical, and spiritual discipline of what Swam means. And so she's right now, she is what you call the ambassador of Swam. She's like one of the not the first, but one of the most popular, sought out martial art females in the United States. My wife is, alhamdulillah. Sister Yusuf Mutakabbir, known as Odette Russell, alhamdulillah. Yeah. So, I mean, I can go on and on about her, give her so many accolades, what I mean? Because I love her so much, and I admire her so much, and, just like we all should with our queens.
Yes, sir.
And so forth. And I'm just thanking Allah for her every single day. And, I got sons, they all train, I got sons that's movie stars, sons that's, like they stunt trainers, sons that's, former professional basketball players, and you can see them on YouTube, some of the things they get ready to do. And I mean, my whole family is a martial art family, My brother, he teaches martial arts. Everybody teaches martial art, so alhamdulillah, or martial science, I should say.
Yes, sir. Well, what do you do for fun, sir, when you're not doing martial arts?
Oh, man, that's a good question. I play with my granddaughter and my grandsons. What I mean? That's my first thing I love to do. I love being with them because, like I always tell my students, I say, the exchange between the babies and the elders is that they give you vitality, you give them wisdom.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I like to run around my granddaughters because I never had daughters. I have 5 sons. You know what I mean? And so now all of a sudden I got these granddaughters. Working on a different part of my characters for that. We work on a different part of my character, and I'm enjoying it because it's bringing a different, softer part. But me and my wife, we like to look at the movies. We like to basically all of my students are not students. All my students are my brethrens. You see what I'm saying? We don't look at the Swan brothers are not like regular martial arts schools where our only relationship is in the dojo, what we call the martial arts school. And then we see each other and that's it. Nah. We're brothers first, then martial arts student instructor second. You know what I mean? We don't operate like that. We never did. It's actually Swam itself means spiritual warriors against madness. Anything that's negative, we're against. We're soldiers with a mission. You see, we're sisters with alert minds. We strong, wise, achieving minds. We smart women and men. So it goes on and on and on, you know, and we live those acronyms. We don't just say them.
Alhamdulillah.
So that's what I like to do. I have a very simple life, you know. It's just basically, you know, I just stay on my PTW. That means I just pray, train, and work. That's it.
Allahu Akbar. Yes, sir. What type of music do you listen to, sir?
Well, you know, I make my own music, right?
No, sir, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, brother, make my own. We got a group. The name of our group is called Swam.
Okay, okay.
It means soldiers with a mic.
Okay, no, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Actually, we got to put our music out because people have been asking us for a while. We got some powerful music. As a matter of fact, I'll send you one of the tracks. Yeah, it's called Soldiers. It's called Soldiers with a Mic, and the name of our music is called Songs with a Message.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we call it LT music. LT music. It's like somewhat with the hip hop beat, but and a nice spiritual beat also. But we call it LT. It means life tunes. You see? So we're giving everything that when you listen to it, it's knowledge, wisdom, and powerful information that you can understand that can basically help your situation. And it's music that is what you call mind friendly, where you can play this around your children, you can put it in your house, you can basically drive in your car, and brother, you can just, you know what I mean, it's just like, I mean, when you hear it, you're gonna be like, wow, brother. I mean, it's like that. And I'm very proud of it too. Yeah. Alhamdulillah.
Yes, sir. Okay. Well, I have two more questions for you, Sijo. Thank you very much. Will you ever write a book on your personal life?
Yeah, everybody been asking me that. Somebody been asking me to write a book on my life. I need to do that. You know, my wife been on me on that too. I you know, it's kind of hard, you know, just to sit down and got kind of like put all my experiences together, you know, and like even if I put just half of my experience down, people wouldn't believe me anyway. They think I'm making it up. You know, I mean, because I done went through so many different transformations or transitions my life has taken throughout the years. You know, because you know I've been on this planet going on 70 years, and you know it's like you're not 70 years old, it's 70 years young because I'm still training with my students that's 20 years old, 30 years old. I'm rolling with them, training with them,
yes,
and they like, man, how you still do what you're doing and so forth. And so because like you know, like I don't look at you can't look at yourself as being age. You can't listen to the world tell you old because you 60, you 70.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fallacies. You know, like I told people, I said, you know, the mind is a realm of fallacy and reality.
Yes, sir.
It tells you truth and lies. So if you believe and listen to all the foolishness that the world tell you, then you're gonna start believing.
That's right.
See, and believe can be a big lie. So my spirit tells me, you know what I'm saying? Look, I'm young. I'm gonna stay young. You see what I'm saying? So I just keep training. Right now I'm training with the monks. I'm doing a lot of Qigong, Tai Chi training. And actually I train with 80 monks and I'm the only one that don't look like them that's training them. Training with them. And now they got me leading the class. I'm training them. You see? So alhamdulillah. So I just keep going. I done train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I done train karate, I done train Kung Fu, I done train Aikido, I done train Muay Thai, I done train so many different arts I forgot the names. So I don't even you know, I just keep it moving, brother. You know what I mean? I just keep it moving. I don't even actually have people ask me what kind of art you train. I say the art I train realistically is called the art with no name. See, I thought it was Swam. Swam is just the name of our group. But inside Swam, you have what you call ghetto rule jiu-jitsu.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You got lethal aikido. You got like LGP, lethal ground and pound. You got all these different expressions, but underneath it all, it's really the art with no name. Because words is just semantics anyway. You know,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They don't mean anything. It's the action. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Alhamdulillah. I got one last question for you, sir. What would you like your legacy to be?
I just want to be known as a brother that's caring for others. I don't care about I don't care about people remember me as a great martial artist. That's not even relevant to me. I always ask Allah when I went back into, I never forget this. When I was in the Musalla one day, I was sitting down, Imam Warith Deen Muhammad taught. He taught. And he gave a khutbah, and he said, we need to get back up and go back into the world and to become the mujaddid of it, the reviver of that spirit in that world, and teach the world the deen. I
like
sat
that.
there and tears came out of my eyes. I'll never forget that. I was in Musala, tears was coming out of my eyes. And I said to the brothers, I retired for 7 years. I said, I'm going back to the martial art world. He said, you go back in the martial art world? He said, man, it's different than it was before. So I went to these great masters and I asked them if they allow me to train in their school, I would teach their students, because I'm getting prepared to go back into the world of the martial art world. And these masters tried to discourage me. I never forget it. They said, brother, ain't like it was before. These dudes are vicious out here today. And so I looked at the magazine. I said, let me see the magazine. I looked at the magazine and I looked at the 10 top fighters. And I prayed on it. I said El Fati on it. And I looked at the magazine. I said, in 1 year, I'll be the second top fighter in New York City. I said, why not number one? Because number one was my martial art brother, Earl Bennett, at the time. I said, I won't fight him. So I went back in the martial art world and I went as a referee. And I never forget, I was telling these brothers, I was trying to break them up and they disrespected me. And so the next time I said, all right, I started training. I said, I'm going back into the martial art world. I went back in the martial art world. I went to Washington, D.C. I went to Washington, D.C., and these dudes were ruthless. They were ruthless. And there was one guy his name was Larry Holmes. He was a big guy. And he was up there with his little fan club with all the pretty girls. And they said, Larry Holmes and Abdul Muka, whatever your name is, up. They told us, come, this brother came down the bleachers. You know how the bleachers make all this noise?
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
And brother, remember you were talking about fear? And this brother looked me in my eye. He said, ugh. And my heart beat up. And my heart beat about 1,000 miles a minute. I was like, yo, this guy's going to kill me. He going to kill me. So we fought. And this brother was tearing me up. He was tearing me up. And so the Grandmaster walked past me. He said, Mutakabbir, get yourself together. I turned around. This brother hit me in my nose so hard. And I turned around. I said, Allahu Akbar. Boom. And from then on, I destroyed him. And everybody else that was in that tournament, I destroyed them. And when I left there, I was a grand champion. And then Allah blessed me to win the next one and the next one and the next one, up until it was 14 grand champions in 1 year. I held 14 titles in 1 year. But I never asked God for fame and prestige. I asked him to be able to get in back in the martial arts so I can be able to touch the hearts of men. And when I started teaching these brothers, because everybody asked me my name, and I said, at that time I was pronounced as Mutakabbir. They said, Mutakabbir. And this Japanese one day, he said, Abdul Mutakabbir on deck. And that means get ready to fight.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
he kept saying it, Abdul Mutakabbir on deck. So I didn't pay him no mind. So one of the brothers said, yo, I think he's talking about you. He said, hey, my name is Mutakabbir. So I asked the Japanese master, I said, are you calling me? He said, yeah, that's how you pronounce your name, Mutakabbir. I said, oh, okay, I like that. That's pretty. I said, Mutakabbir. So I fought and I won that. So I won like 14 titles in 1 year. But the thing was, not winning titles was important. What's important, what brothers were starting to say, Assalamu alaikum. And they started basically turning to the dean. And when they turned to the dean, I said, well, my mission is over. Ain't no more to me to be competing no more. Because that's what I asked Allah for, to be able to go back to the martial arts and revive the spirit of that savagery and basically bring the dean into it. And I brought that, so it was time for me to leave. And I left.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. Well, I want to thank you again, sir. You inspired me from afar, just with your YouTube videos, your Facebook page. And just as a student in the martial science, I'm a big fan of yours, sir, and it's real. And I definitely bear witness to your techniques. I'm like, oh yeah, no, he's official. He's super official. So thank you, sir. I want to thank everybody for watching. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum assalam, brother. Alhamdulillah, brother. Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar.